from the studio. We've got a ton of things to go over with you. We've got a number of severe thunderstorm watch boxes that still continue. This one up here in areas of Billings, Montana. We do have that until midnight Central Daylight Time. This one down in areas of western part of South Dakota, that covers until 2 o'clock in the morning Central Daylight Time. And even this one here, midnight for western part of Nebraska, extreme northeastern portion of Colorado, and extreme northwestern portion of Kansas. We also have this severe thunderstorm watch here until midnight Central Daylight Time uh, for eastern parts of New Mexico. So there are 17 active severe thunderstorm warnings right now. Let's go ahead and get to all those as quickly as we possibly can. First, let's go down to areas of Dallas and Oklahoma area and take a look at this. We do have these storms that are wreaking havoc right here near Hereford, making its way over into areas of Texas slowly but surely. That's moving off to a northeasterly track, and we'll get you back on track here. Hereford, let's go ahead and take a look and see some of the areas that might be impacted for that one. If we could do a manual tracking on this for a minute. Doesn't look like there's any areas that are highly populated that's on this track here, so it's not coming up with any cities. Hey, Macon, New Mexico, are we talking about, or which area are we talking about? You take a look here and see kind of the area. I don't see any areas of concern there. One second. Mad supercell near the U.S.-Canada border in North Dakota. Okay, we'll take a look at that. Okay, hold on. Hold on. I just lost my live here. One second. This is what happens when we got 5 million things going on. One second, folks. Went to my other screen. That's what happens when you got somebody that interrupts you in the middle of a live. All right, hold on, folks. I got to find where it went. One second, folks. I'm sorry. It's almost like I'm doing my first rodeo here, and I'm not. I completely lost my radar. I got to bring it back up, and here's the problem. There's an application error. One second here. No, it was not you. It was just I tried to click on it, and you kind of scared me there a little bit for a second. So, all right. So areas, yes, there is a mad supercell up here towards the North Dakota border and the Canada border. That is Bow Bells 926, Kenmar, Tally around 952. That would be in areas of extreme northern part of North Dakota. We got this storm right here. If we could get the track on that, that is, let me get this out of the way here, of Wolf Point, Montana 918, and Poplar now around 933, and Ritchie around 937. Macon, Georgia. I was wondering what area you were talking about. So Macon, Georgia, you don't have any significant severe weather down there, but we'll go down there anyhow. Georgia is in a risk for general thunderstorms, not expecting anything huge. As you can see, Atlanta area, if you're in that area, not really a whole lot expected. And really, Georgia's not going to have much. There's a, I'm sorry, a person by the name of I'm sorry is asking about there's a storm in Kentucky. No, there's not. If you're referring to the like a significant storm, there's flooding, yes, north of Elizabethtown area, but I don't see anything that suggests the severe potential when we're talking tornadoes, hail, that type of thing. So nothing there. I'm in Billings, Montana. Tornado risk in areas of Montana. I'll certainly get over to you. I just got to check on my live storm chaser here. 1 second. We'll bring that to you. So we do have Derek Thompson. He's on YouTube, and he is coming to you live here. He's in western part of South Dakota. Trying to get a handle on that. A little hard to see where exactly he is. Looks like he's making his way over to areas of Rapid City, it looks like. It's hard to tell. I didn't check with him before I went live, but nonetheless, let's go back to areas of concern over in Montana, Billings, Montana area. So this is live radar here. You got a number of storms. This one over here by Roundup area, we'll try to do a storm expectation right on top of Roundup. And this storm here has been producing a number of things, including 1.25 inch size hail, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and that severe thunderstorm warning there until 10:15 Central Daylight Time. So another 45 minutes on that puppy right there. And as you can see, there's a lot of hail in here with this core right here. Right there. And we do have another, this is in Montgomery County, Iowa, Pottawatomie, Iowa, County, Iowa. Let's go over to areas of Iowa here. Must have been one that was able to be expired here at this point because I don't see anything that shows up there. One second. All right, we'll get the storm chaser Derek Thompson on here in just a second with the coverage over in areas of Iowa or over in areas of South Dakota. Is there anything going to be for tomorrow in Minnesota? Yes. We'll show you the risks here in just a moment for Minnesota. As far as in Billings, Montana, yes, you are in a tornado risk still in Billings, Montana. Thanks, Rick C, for the share. I appreciate it. I'm going to have to try and get WSV3 to pull up here with the information. Charleston, West Virginia area. We'll get to you here very shortly. All right, so let's see. And of course, when I need it, I don't have it working. We'll have to go back to it here in a moment and show you the risks that are for tomorrow. The other thing that I wanted to kind of show you is we do have this storm cell that is to the west of North Platte, Nebraska, east of Oshkosh. Pretty significant storm there. This one also has, let's take a look and see what exactly it has on there. Max hail size, about 3/4, a little bit bigger than 3/4 inch. It's moving to the east at 35 miles per hour. Some areas that could be impacted by this, again, Arthur. It's mainly going to be over rural areas. That is over in areas of Nebraska. So let's go ahead and take a look at West Virginia area. West Virginia right now, you got lots of flooding going on in a lot of areas of Virginia, I should say. Not necessarily over in Virginia itself, but you do have quite a few storms popping up. It's about done because if you look at this Greenville, North Carolina, you do have quite a few storms there that have gone through your area over the last several of hours. Jeff, thanks for joining. I appreciate it so much. Let's go ahead and bring Derek Thompson. He's West River, South Dakota, and you can certainly see he's got his tracking right there. Bring that up full screen. Holy cow, and that didn't work how I wanted it to. There we go. Maybe we can get that to go full screen eventually. There we are. So he's out west, and you got some storms moving on. Thanks for the follow, Jason Waters 30. I appreciate it. Is there anything going to be for tomorrow in Minnesota? Is what I'm trying to get to, but unfortunately, I can't get to that at this point. But there is a risk for tomorrow in areas of Minnesota, central part of Minnesota. You're expected to, like the Twin Cities area, expected to have that 5% risk for tornado activity. Again, there are some things that I'm a little reserved on for areas of Minnesota. I feel that there is going to be a very delayed risk. We could have things pop up in the morning hours, but we can take a look at some of those risks right now for areas of Minnesota. If I shut off the live radar here for a second, and bear with me while I get a few things prepped here, and I'll go over to NAM3K and show you that information so that we can kind of show you what's expected for areas of Minnesota. We're going to zoom Derek down just a little bit here while we have these going on. But he is taking a look. He's out West River, South Dakota. And let's go ahead and take a look at Minnesota for the moment here. Minnesota, your risks tomorrow again are quite substantial. And if we look at radar estimates here, I'm going to shut this composite off here 1 second. All right, that's a look at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. of estimates what it looked like. And then we moved on in through areas about 9 o'clock tonight. This is what the NAM 3K was estimating. As we go on through the day tomorrow, some more storms expected to pop up in areas like Austin, Minnesota. Sorry, guys, these dang allergies are driving me crazy. There's some areas like Alexandria and Granite Falls area of Minnesota as well. And then if we move this along a little bit further on the 16th into the afternoon hours is when we would suspect things to get a little bit more uh, significant. But it looks like, according to NAM3K, maybe around 7 or 8 p.m. Central Daylight Time into areas of Minneapolis and the Twin Cities, St. Cloud area, we could have those pockets of much more significant storms. This doesn't show it being nearly as significant as it once was thought to be, but we will have our live update. There, now we got the categorical outlook. So this is the categorical outlook for tomorrow for areas of Minnesota. We got the enhanced risk here, and we have the slight risk with the yellow. And then even back down here for tomorrow, we've got areas of North Platte and Kearney all in the enhanced risk for storms. Look at the time here. This is about 1 o'clock on the 18th. Back this up a little bit. These would be estimates here. Going to have those storms move through on the 17th here. Areas of Nebraska. And moving through tonight. Thank you for sharing the live, Amanda. I appreciate it. And Montgomery, Alabama, I'll take a look at them just a moment. Appreciate the follows. If you've not followed already, we typically do live morning updates, and we're doing some live updates right now. Here's North Platte. Time frame for that would be there we go. I don't know why the live paused, but evidently there was some significant delay there. All right, so he's near, looks like Phillip and Murdo area right now of South Dakota. That is out in West River, South Dakota. All right, Indiana area, let's take a look at you. Indiana for tomorrow, general thunderstorms, not expecting anything huge for Indiana area. Charleston, West Virginia, you got lots of flooding going on, so I do understand that that is a concern. And unfortunately, you've got a couple more days of general thunderstorms and showers, more moisture moving on in, as you can kind of see, even through the 17th. All right, let's go ahead and take a look. There's his live feed here. Again, this is Derek Thompson, YouTube. Let's go ahead and take a look. It looks like we do have a tornado warning. That tornado warning is, let's go back to live radar. Likely way up north here, but let's verify. Let me make sure that we have, I don't know why that's reading a tornado warning. Could be that there's one with a possible tornado tag on it. I'm trying to verify where this tornado warning is. Teresa Campbell, 340, thank you for sharing the live. I don't have anything that supports a tornado warning at this point in time. So I'm not going to say that there's a tornado warning here. Don't know why that is having some issues unless there's something wrong with my programming. Usually I don't have this kind of a problem, but lately it seems like there's a lot of problems going on. All right, so we do have, right now, we've got 15. Yeah, we do not have a tornado warning. So right now, the issue is, let me remove this pop out since it's obviously showing a tornado warning and we don't have one. All right, I'm going to remove that. All right, so we do have 3 up here, 3 severe thunderstorm warnings up in areas of Montana. These continue over the Big Sandy area. Goodness, that got dark, certainly over by Phillips, South Dakota. Got dark really fast. Let me get this pulled up here 1 second. Let's go over live look at Phillips, South Dakota here 1 second. and get a live look here. 1 second, folks. There we go. Now we got some radar going. So right now it looks like 69-degree dew point and 83-degree temperature still. Let me put some information on here to support that. Temp here. Yep, it's showing 82, so pretty close. And then the dew points near 70, just, yeah, 69. So that does support that. But we do have these storms down here in areas south of Wannabe, South Dakota. Pretty significant storms here. Let's see which way these are going. These are moving northeast, 1.5-inch hail, and then over by Porcupine, South Dakota, we got 1.5-inch hail as well. Moving super slow, so possibility of some flooding here. Storm motion is east, 7 miles per hour. That's all it's going. Out by Hot Springs, South Dakota, we do have special weather statement. How about Canyon? Could you please tell me what state, if you're referring to South Dakota? I'm assuming South Dakota, but we do have a number of areas in South Dakota. Oh, Canyon, Texas. We got nothing. There is. Okay, thank you, NTX Weather. There's an observed. There it is. So my software was very delayed. So my counter is correct. My counter was correct, but for some reason my software here was not showing it up. Just took a little while. Here it is. So here's an observed tornado, 38 miles per hour moving east. Let's see if we can get a track on this. Looks like it's going to mainly be over rural areas. But again, Melstone, Montana, 1.25-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds, and then of course this one here expires. This is a tornado warning, observed tornado, until 10:15 Central Daylight Time or 9:15 Mountain Time. Houston, Texas, it looks like that was taken care of. Thank you very much, NTX Weather. Lots of storms down here in areas of Montana continuing through here. Montgomery, Alabama, you guys are good. Let's go down there to take a look, though. You got a lot of rain expected over the next couple of days. If we take a look at your categorical outlook for today, you got general thunderstorms, tomorrow general thunderstorms, and then the next day general thunderstorms. So you can't catch a break. I mean, you got 3 days of some on and off showers throughout Alabama. Nothing severe though. All right, again, we're looking at areas of Rapid City area here. And you do have that enhanced risk over areas of Rapid City and western part of South Dakota. Box Elder, 9:46. New Underwood around 10:11 p.m. That would be Central Daylight Time. Keystone on this one already passed through you. Hermosa, it's on top of you right now. This would be a severe thunderstorm warning, capable of 3/4-inch hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds. If we go back up to areas of Montana here real quick. It's really blowing up there big time. 1.25-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. Again, kind of sitting and waiting for storm chaser Derek Thompson. Currently, the storm pressure is at 1,010 barometric pressure. Gusty winds where he's at is only at 14, but the dew point's 69 degrees and temperatures at 83. Super warm. It's going to take a little while for things to get initiated that far east, but he's over by the Phillip and Murdo area. All right, yes, again, general thunderstorms means below severe limits, exactly. So that would be somewhere between 40, 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts for anybody that's in general thunderstorms. But these are much more severe than the general thunderstorms. Tornado possible tag on this one here over north of Porcupine or right on top of Porcupine, South Dakota. Max wind gusts 60 miles per hour. Let's do a tracker on this one here. And let's see if we can get some next level stuff here. 1 second. Try to see if we can get the velocity to show up on this. 1 moment here. Pop Smoke, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it. NTX, thank you very much for the confetti. I appreciate that. All right, doesn't look like Derek's got anything really going on. We'll check on him in a little bit here. So we'll shut him off for just the time being. And get to a different radar and see if I can pull this up a little bit better here. 1 second. It's really kind of staying over the same areas, and I don't see it. It looks like it's a little bit of rotation. You can kind of see that arrow go the opposite direction there, and that's why they do have that tornado possible tag on this storm that's just over top of Porcupine, South Dakota. You can get rid of that, buddy. Get rid of those. Thank you. All right. All right, we do have that tornado warning going up top. And that's the first time that I've been able to see that thing actually work. It scrolls through everything. Tornado warnings get higher priority. Seems to be working. So we do have this tornado warning continuing, expires in 14 minutes. This is west of Melstone, Montana. All right, so tornado warning has been updated. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 18 miles northeast of Roundup, moving east at 40 miles per hour. Tornado and quarter-size hail. Continuing on here, let's see if we have anything else. So that was updated because it moved further east. Again, it's moving 40 miles per hour. Might as well say 40, it's 38. This is the latest information, and that tornado warning is until 10 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Okay, there's 3 of them for a possible. Appreciate that. So I'm guessing this one down here into South Dakota. So this would be a tornado possible here over Martin, South Dakota. Another one here over Porcupine, South Dakota, with a possible tornado tag on it. And then likely the one farther south here. Let's verify that though. This one has considerable wind damage threat west of North Platte. Looks like this is going to impact areas of Paxton in another few minutes. This is in areas of Nebraska, Sutherland. These are in Central Daylight Time, 10:09 p.m. and 10:19 Hershey, Nebraska. Right now, Dallas is okay. Not seeing anything that suggests any major concerns in areas of Dallas. Tomorrow, you do have that general thunderstorms for Dallas for the next few days. San Antonio area, you guys don't have a whole lot going on in your area. General thunderstorms over the course of this evening. Most of that has moved southward over into Mathis and Corpus Christi area, as you can see there. We don't have confirmation of how big that tornado up in areas of Montana is. We don't have any chasers on that right at this point in time. 1014 Melstone will expect impact of this tornado. And again, this is an observed tornado. I can take a look here and see if there's any storm reports. It looks like a funnel cloud briefly touched down. That was as of 9:25 Central Daylight Time. That was in Musselshell County, Montana. You can see the position there was 108.59, 46.61 was the geographic area. Do you think it will hit Billings, Montana? Right now, Billings, Montana has a special weather statement, and this tornado, observed tornado, is now just a radar indicated. So that doesn't mean that you need to let your guard down. It still could end up dropping a tornado, but there's not a confirmation of it being observed. It's just radar indicated at this point. So yes, definitely be in your safe spot if you're in Melstone, Montana, because that does have capability of producing a dropping of a tornado, as it did right over in this area here, just west of Melstone. Yes, it was previously observed. So we want to make sure that everybody's safe. And as far as Jacoby, do I think it will hit Billings? This particular storm is not going to hit Billings. This is moving off to the east at 38 miles per hour. These storms here, down here is a special weather statement. We're not expecting that. To be as nearly as impactful as the northerly storm. But again, do want to remind folks that you are in a 2% risk for tornadoes. Let me go outbound here. It's a little hard to see that green shaded area. Let me go ahead and put that back up here with the watches and all that. So this green shaded area is all in a tornado risk for today, and that is a 2% risk. Special weather statement has been issued for Mud Butte. Likely be this one here. Yes, Mud Butte, half-inch hail, 55-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And look at all these wind reports here. Train spotter, thunderstorm wind gusts, 60 miles per hour. Again, 51 for that. This is over by Custer. And 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts here. Let's go ahead and put up those storm reports for today, what we've had so far today. 25 reports of thunderstorm wind damage, thunderstorm gusts, 30 of them, and one tornado. That's the one that's up by areas of Montana. over by Melstone, if I get that right, that town, Melstone, Montana. There's where the tornado warning is right now. So far, 103 total reports have been taken today. That's throughout the United States. I'm just going to quick check and see if there's anything with Derek Thompson. I don't see anything right now that looks alarming. Let me go ahead and our storm chaser right there doesn't look anything alarming right now. Yeah, we need the state on here. So Rose Creek, I'm guessing you're talking about. Hey, Tufts Weather. Thank you, NTX. I don't know if you have that capability of pinning that. I, for some reason, do not, but that's probably because I'm on a different app here. I'm going to go as far to say Rose Creek would be South Dakota, but I'm just going to check and see if we have a Rose Creek, South Dakota. Somebody maybe Rose Creek, North Dakota, maybe talking about. So Braxton Barwald, if you're able to verify what area you're talking about, that would be great. Otherwise, you may have left maybe. So right now we do have this tornado warning up near Melstone, right on top of Melstone, basically. 1-inch hail and radar indicated tornado. So please be in your safe spot. We've got a little while before it impacts the center part of it, but still. And then it's mainly rural areas after that. All right, storm reports. Let's go ahead and see. It was located northeast of Roundup, moving east at 40 miles per hour, tornado and quarter-size hail. Radar indicated. All right. So we do have a severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued here, 9:55. This is a new one, Garfield County and Macomb County. This is in Montana. This is now an update on that. Still moving at 38 miles per hour to the east. Thank you for sharing the live. Jacoby. If you're talking about Rosebud, South Dakota, like the Rosebud Reservation, I can zoom in on that area. This one right here, let's see if we have anything else that's supporting if these are going to impact some areas. This is moving super slow. 5 miles per hour, folks. Lots of flooding is expected in this area. We've got DBZ of 57, nearly 60, over 60 on this one. So these storm cells are moving very, very slowly. And that is going to be wreaking havoc for possibility of some flooding. All right, so let's take a look at this. Yes, if you're referring to the tornado warning, this is likely to expire. It is starting to really disorganize. Likely these southerly storms are taking the energy away from the storm that was to the north over by Melstone. So we do have over in Box Elder, we have a severe thunderstorm warning. Box Elder, South Dakota, Rapid Valley, South Dakota, until 9:45 p.m. Mountain Time. NTX, thank you for the 7 TikTok. Oh goodness, appreciate that. Can you track the Little Rock and Conway? All right, I'll take a look at Arkansas. Again, folks, we definitely need, I understand that I may assume some areas, but if you could please always make sure that you put the city and the state. I can assume that you're talking about one state, but I don't want to get it wrong. So Little Rock storms here, lots of flooding continuing in those areas. That flood warning, flash flood warning for Little Rock, Arkansas until midnight. Okay, well, we can take a look at Iowa over the course of tomorrow here, because I know there are risks for tomorrow, and I'll outline those here. Okay, so here's the risks for tomorrow that we're looking at here. Again, Minneapolis, St. Cloud, Minnesota, areas of Brookings, South Dakota is in an enhanced risk. Even where my area that I live in here, parts of Sioux Falls, is in an enhanced risk. And then even further south would be slight risk in that yellow. And then areas, Broken Bow, North Platte, that's in an enhanced risk, which would mean all modes of severe weather are possible, even probable of tornado activity for a large portion. Look at that huge portion that we have for tomorrow. This is tomorrow's risk. The green is the 2% risk, and the brown is the 5% risk. Okay, somebody want? How about Silva, North Carolina? You can go over to North Carolina here. If you're along the coastline east of Raleigh, you still got some storms that you're dealing with. These are tuckering out. There's special weather statements, but you've got some flash flooding going on in areas that are expected until 11:15 p.m. or 12:15 a.m. your time. But Greenville, you've got one storm cell here just to the south of Greenville that is a special weather statement until 10:15 p.m., 40-mile-an-hour winds, and then of course this has got lots of flooding. But we're expecting that to eventually move off the coastline and die out. All right, St. Louis area. All right, St. Louis area right here. St. Louis, Missouri, I'm assuming. You don't have anything going on today. Your probability of storms and general thunderstorms south of you for today. Tomorrow, you still have general thunderstorms. And then you, on day 3, which would end up being Tuesday, you end up having some of those storms move on to your area. Areas of Iowa, also, day 3 for your Tuesday, you got some slight risk in Des Moines area, Cedar Rapids. Um, One thing that I wanted to look at again for the probability of tornadoes, Mason City, Iowa, Sioux City. So Mason City, Iowa, you do have some risk a higher risk for that tornado risk. That would be the 5%. And then Sioux City, Iowa area, that would. Yeah, tough weather. I understand completely. The struggle is real. Trying to get radars to keep people informed, getting that information. And I'm probably not going to stay on here too long. The risk, in my opinion, for the tornado activity is slowly dying out, and we're slowly going to see the wind risk increase as we go into the overnight hours. That wind risk and probability of hail risk will still be there into the overnight hours. But as far as areas of South Dakota, um, eastern part of South Dakota, they're in the marginal risk. We really didn't get anything to ramp up in the eastern half of South Dakota too much. Tomorrow that could change if we take a look at one of the latest weather models here. Yeah, there's so Radar Omega has different tier levels depending on what you want to look at. You could if you're going the alpha, you're going to have the most expensive, but you have other options available to have less features for Radar Omega app. Yeah, if you have $0, it is tough. But the subscriptions, you have Gamma, and then you have Alpha. So Gamma is the lower end of you get 30 frame animations, 6-month storm report archive eligibility for cyclone port membership, 3D infrared mesoscale satellite visualization. This is our lowest tier subscription package with tools that offer extensive data for storm visualization. So if you got 0, yeah, I totally get it. um, it's tough. Yeah, weather-wise I have as well. It gets a little tricky. Weather-wise, the only thing that I have an issue with for weather-wise is it would be nice if they went ahead and did more forecasting models, but I guess that's why we have pivotal weather as well. All right, I'm in Montana right now. Keegs, Wednesday, Michigan. All right, Elias, let's go ahead and take a look at Michigan, and then I'm going to buzz off here for a little bit because I'm not going to be covering this through the wind and the hail event. I got to work tomorrow. So, Michigan, your risk for Wednesday looks to be general thunderstorms. You go to Tuesday. Yeah, it looks like mainly general thunderstorms for Michigan area. Marty, if they're adding weather models, that would be awesome. All right, Handy Manny, what about Arma, Kansas? I can certainly take a look at Arma, Kansas. That would probably be more along the lines of day 3. Let's take a look at that. So Arma, you're going to have to wait for the ticker severe thunderstorm warning that was updated. There we go. So if you can find your interstate area in some of your areas, this is the risk that you have generally speaking. So Wichita area, Lindsborg, Emporia in the enhanced risk, and then the probabilistic. So Pratt, Hutchinson, Wichita, I would suspect this area that has that 30% probability is probably where our tornado risk is going to be. If you're in that area, stay weather aware. Flourtown, Pennsylvania, I can certainly take a look at that. 1 second here. All right, so we're in areas of Pennsylvania here. These are the risks that we're expected for today. Pittsburgh area, general thunderstorms. Tomorrow, more general thunderstorms, but that's way over by Pittsburgh area, so I'm not sure where Flowertown is with respect to that, but I can do a search here to kind of try and verify. Oh, you're clear north of Philadelphia area, so you're over in this area. So let's take a look at the risks for Wednesday. Looks like general thunderstorms, but that could change. Stay weather aware. Day 4 doesn't look too shabby either. And then as you get to day 5, so day 5, that is Wednesday into Thursday, you guys have larger risk, and I would venture to estimate you'll probably end up having a tornado risk over in that area. I can't go out to day 5 with the weather models because we start to get to GFS, and I don't trust GFS weather model. Thanks so much for the follow, Handy Manny. I appreciate it. Elria, Ohio. Areas of, so for Thursday for Michigan, you're okay. We don't see any risk for Thursday for Michigan. That could change. Come to my lives in the mornings, 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. Central Daylight Time. We're back to doing lives in the mornings. So we'll do that tomorrow morning and we'll go over all the risks. Nick, I'll take a look at Rochester, Minnesota here in just a second, and I'll make sure I cover that. Elria, Ohio area. All right, so let me get to Ohio area. This is for day 5, which that again that would end up being Thursday. Doesn't look too shabby. If I go back to like day 4, I think day 4 into day 5 is where you could have some changes to this. So as you can see, there's this probabilistic here review with that 15%. So there could be shots somewhere in here as the SPC outlook changes in the overnight hours and they start to update these day 4, day 5 updates. What is the farthest weather model for radar besides GFS? The European model is what I typically go to. But let's go ahead and take a look at that southeast part of Minnesota and show you that information here based on weather model. We'll go to NAM 3K was updated at 2 o'clock this afternoon. So let's see if I can find something else. NAM 3K or HRRR, GFS, I could show you, but it really, let's go ahead and show you. I mean, it goes out 384 hours, so it goes into July 1st. Hey, Hunter Beckworth, howdy. So we'll go ahead and load these 384 hours here of radar and show you GFS high resolution. But just be aware, I'm not a fan of GFS. I'll take a look at that real quick, Hunter. All right, so areas of southeast Minnesota for tomorrow. Again, this is having a real struggle showing tomorrow being that bad. And that's again why I don't really trust it too much. It shows on the 18th getting pretty significant for southeast part of Minnesota. It's all the farther I want to go out with that. GFS. Again, I am not a fan of GFS. Let's go ahead and take a look at HRRR. You're welcome, Nick. I wish I could have done a little bit better of a job, but appreciate you joining the lives. I definitely do. All right, so we're looking at the alerts that are on here are live. The radar estimates that I'm going through right now is looking at HRRR. All right, this is HRRR is going to do a better job in my opinion. So let's show Minnesota here. Let's take a look. Look at that. As we go into noontime tomorrow, so sometime after 10 o'clock in the morning, it's going to get ramped up pretty significantly. And there could be those tornadoes that we were talking about in St. Cloud, all the way up to Mora, Minnesota, down to Mankato and Austin. There could be some tornado activity as early as 10 or 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. And then moving further eastward, look at that, Rochester and Austin. This is a look at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, starting with the heat of the day. HRRR only goes out for 18 hours, so I unfortunately can't look at Michigan right now because it's going to show nothing. If you are from Wisconsin area, we do suspect that you're going to have some of those risks as you get into day 2, right there, that marginal risk. This Eau Claire area is going to be in the slight risk for tomorrow. And then look at that, Minneapolis, Wilmer, Olivia, Tracy, Fulda, Minnesota, all those in the enhanced risk. And then your probabilities for tornadoes. That's a 5% area in that brown and the 2% further out. Is there going to be anything for eastern South Dakota where there is that enhanced risk? In my opinion, I really hope not, because I'm betting on something changing here. But I mean, if we have storms that happen late tonight, which is what I'm suspecting, Marty, here's my take on it. And take this with a grain of salt, obviously. This is just me thinking how this pattern ends up going for tomorrow. My thought is they're going to keep this an enhanced risk in eastern South Dakota. And the reason they're going to go ahead and keep that is because it wouldn't take a whole lot to have the cap being broke. But there is going to be a strong cap if we have that cloud cover from some of these overnight storms that are expected to happen in farther east river. But let's go ahead and take a look at HRRR and see what it shows here either way. We'll back this up a little bit and see what eastern South Dakota has. HRRR is suggesting it's really not going to be anything for areas of eastern South Dakota unless you're further north into areas of Sisseton as you get into 6 o'clock in the morning. Now, as we go through the day, let's take a look at that. Again, eastern South Dakota. It really is struggling. This is a look at 2 o'clock. Now, I can take a look at the NAM 3K. Things could ramp up a little bit later in the day. And let's go through the 17th on this one. Cleveland, Ohio, not expecting anything other than general thunderstorms over the next couple of days. As you get into Thursday, things get a little bit dicey. Stay tuned. So to Sean Jones, if you're not following already, please go ahead and follow. And then that way you'll be able to get notified when we go live. Tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., we'll go through more of the risks versus what we are right now. Again, here's eastern South Dakota as we get into tomorrow afternoon. Even the NAM 3K is having a struggle showing those storms unless you get into areas of Minnesota. Okay, great. Thank you so much to Sean Jones. I appreciate the follow. All right, Austin, Texas. Again, folks, we're looking at day 2. outlooks. So that'd be tomorrow. Austin, you're expecting general thunderstorms, not a whole lot expected as this shows here. Not really showing a whole lot there. Bailey, Michelle, I appreciate you sharing the live. Again, we have no tornado warnings right now. We got 16 severe thunderstorm warnings. These are primarily up in areas of South Dakota as well as eastern Montana. So if you have any folks there, so let's take a look at day one, categorical outlook. We still have these storms expected. This is the enhanced risk in western part of South Dakota. And then eastern or central part of South Dakota is in that slight risk. And then eastern is in the marginal risk for today. Tomorrow, things get shaping up a little bit differently. Again, this is where we're suspecting tomorrow to have some of that tornado risk with that 2% risk. Oh my goodness, Bailey, your husband's in Minnesota for work. That's going to be dangerous over there if these things can get going. And I'm sure you probably saw the timeline of those storms. Sometime after 10 o'clock tomorrow morning could get pretty impactful. The NAM 3K is putting it a little bit later for those storms. So just stay weather aware. What state has the most percent of tornadoes? Like you're talking historically, which states have the bigger risk typically of tornadoes? That I'm not going to judge that. I don't have my research information to support specifically, and that I get a little dicey with that. Appreciate you as well. Okay, so for right now, these areas are in the 2% risk. The green is Montana, western part of South Dakota, and southwestern part of North Dakota, northeastern part of Wyoming, northeastern part of Wyoming, and northwestern part of Nebraska, and then northeastern part of Colorado is where the 2% risk for tornadoes are. We do also have an area over in areas of Virginia that is in that 2% risk, although that is slowly dying out. We are suspecting that that will continue to die out. Elm Springs, South Dakota, Pedro, South Dakota, and Plainview, South Dakota, we have a severe thunderstorm warning over in that area right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Dragula, anything central? Not at the moment. Let me take a look and see if I have my chaser on here. 1 second. He's still in the same area, it looks like here. And right now it doesn't look like, it looks like 82 degrees out by between Phillip and Murdo, South Dakota is where he's at, and 68-degree dew point. So still pretty significant storms expected here. Anything else for southwest Minnesota overnight? Overnight, there's a possibility of that. Let's take a look at radar loop here estimate. Let me look at level 2 here. Take a look at overnight. I would say stay weather aware, and the reason why I stay weather aware in southwest Minnesota is we're still suspecting that there's probably going to be some storms that fire up late tonight into tomorrow, and those storms could start off over here and move towards a northerly track. And again, look at that. You do have that possibility of some storms happening over early tomorrow. So stay weather aware in southwest Minnesota. West Virginia right now, there was somebody else that had a question about Oklahoma. Uh, Things for central South Dakota, I don't think we're going to have that as significant as once thought. Early morning hours, I think central South Dakota could start seeing some things ramp back up. Let me go ahead and put the temperatures back up here and the dew points. So right now we have a temperature of 86 degrees in Pierre, South Dakota, and we got a 70-degree dew point. So we're not going to see any convection over in this area right at this point. 68-degree dew point in Philip, and an 81-degree temperature. That's why we're seeing these storms right here, uh, more or less, because we got the 73-degree temperature over in Rapid City. And now you can see that drier air, 50-degree dew point once that storm has moved through there. We have some meso detection here. Take a look at this storm. So a strength of 5, so it's a low probability, but this is turning into a wind event. This is considerable damage here. So we have 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And again, I suspect this wind threat is going to increase as you get into Kadoka, Phillip area, and even Murdo. But the tornado risk, in my opinion, is likely going to greatly diminish as we get further east. Falkton, South Dakota looks okay. Thanks for the report. Yes. Yeah, Rapid City is not doing anything at all, just raining. And then east of Rapid City, between Wasta and Rapid City, you have the significant storms right here happening with those wind gusts 70 plus miles an hour. This one's 60 moving east at 41 miles per hour. And this one here is the one that's really a threat. Considerable wind damage, 70-mile-per-hour winds moving to the east. And let's take a look. Wasta around 1021, so it's on top of you. Wall, South Dakota, 1035. These are in Central Daylight Time. And then 10:43 p.m. Quinn, South Dakota. All right, folks. I am going to let you guys go. I do expect these to diminish, but the wind threat is going to still be there. Look at these temperatures and these dew points. 55, there's where the dry line is. You can see that 55 and 46, or that's where that front is, not necessarily a dry line, but cooler, drier air. Look at the temps. They're still pretty warm, 73 and 66 as that rain-cooled air is going through there. And then we do have, again, these dew points, much more moist air on the east side of this. And that's going to fuel things up as we get into tomorrow's risks. That's where the risks are in Minnesota. We've got all that fuel. Look at the 70-degree dew points here. We're probably going to be seeing some close to 80-degree dew points as that moisture moves from the south and fuels these storms over in areas of Minnesota. Yes, I am up late tonight, but Jeff, I am about done because it's Father's Day and I really haven't had a whole lot of time with the family today. I've been dealing with a mess. I have to figure out if I blew a fuse on um, my power inverter or what. I'm not sure. So, all right. So that's a live look at the radar here, and I'm going to let you guys go. God bless. Stay safe. I wish I could still stay with you, but let's take a look here. We do have a level 2 here. 1 second. This one here has a meso detection of 6. So there's more rotation in this one than there are these other storms here. But we look at these tornado vortex signature. It doesn't mean there's a tornado. Just means that there's some rotation and likely some gusty winds in here. It looks like they actually was able to expire one of these severe thunderstorms. And that's likely because these are starting to move in a linear path and they're feeding off each other, and eventually that will start to die out. Lubbock, Texas, please. I can take a look at Lubbock, and then I've got to let you guys go. So Lubbock, Texas, right now, you guys got the moisture going on. You got the marginal risk for severe weather. You don't have any. You have a less than 2% risk for tornadoes. Oh, thank you. Not expecting a whole lot in Lubbock in the overnight hours. You know, some rain, obviously, but as far as severe weather goes, you would have to wait a number of days in Lubbock. You can dry out a little bit. As you can see, there's not really anything other than for today and tonight. All right, Waukegan, Illinois. NTX is probably going to be taking, right, in West Texas, the watch expires in 30 minutes, so that's why I'm not suspecting a whole lot. Sorry, NTX. I should have left the Texas stuff to the expert. NTX Weather is an expert for Texas for sure. Is Waco, Texas going to get anything? I'll let NTX take care of that. All right, so Illinois, I got Illinois. Your risks for today, not a whole lot. Tomorrow, general thunderstorms. And then as you get into day 3, which ends up being your Tuesday into Wednesday, that's when you start seeing some more of those risks coming through. And the risks could be um, hail. Let's see, I don't think they have the probabilistic. The probabilistic for tornado activity, I think, is going to be more in the Wichita area for Tuesday into Wednesday. But things could get updated. So if you're not following, go ahead and follow. Um, my wife's making funny faces. My wife needs to come on here. If you guys love cupcakes, Cake My Day Bakery SD on Facebook, or you can find Cake My Day on. my wife is my wife is making me laugh. And if you guys like, so my wife is even she concocts a crazy, so she wants to get me. I don't like beets, folks, and so we're growing beets in the garden, and she has come up with some harebrained idea that she's going to get me to eat beets. You said beets too. So she's going to make red velvet cupcakes with, what are you going to infuse? Are you going to infuse the frosting with beets? Oh my gosh. So she's going to try and get me to eat beets by infusing it into a frosting for a cupcake. Oh, in the cupcake, not the frosting. Okay. And then what's the other? Something with radishes. I don't like radishes. Jeff, I don't like you. Cuz next time you come around, I'm going to mess with you because you like beets? Dude, I hate beets. All right. Radishes. Radishes, strawberry orange, strawberry orange radish cupcakes with a mint cream cheese frosting, right? I'm messing with you guys, Jeff. Yeah, it's better than rabbit stew. You got a rabbit. Don't be making rabbit stew. Also, Jeff, one of these days, maybe my wife can make you. So, Jeff, do you like Fireball? If you like Fireball, my wife has infused Fireball into a frosting and the cupcake. So, if you have too many cupcakes, you might get a little loopy. So, all right, this severe weather program has turned into a cupcake infusion process. So, I'm going to let you guys go. God bless and stay safe. Yes, Jeff lives in South Dakota. He's my cousin. So, he'll try almost anything. Yeah, those cupcakes are crazy. So, thank you NTX Weather and thank you Jeff for helping out and have some chuckles. You guys have a great rest of your night. NTX Weather, thank you for your coverage continued. Appreciate that. And Jeff, thank you for letting me know that you love beets. I don't even know who you are anymore.